Aloha, y'all. It is Friday the 13th. Can you believe it? Today is a sacral chakra day. When I'm saying, is that right? Solar plexus. No, I was like, what am I talking about? Today's a solar plexus chakra day, the Manipura. And according to Dream Spell, it is a solar plexus day, red galactic moon guided by space. We're about to have a new moon in Scorpio, but today is a solar plexus, I stand corrected, solar plexus day, Manipura, be doing chakra work, be doing chakra chants, magic will ensue, I promise. I dare you to try chakra stuff. So, what up, Sorrel? Let's go ahead and pull some cards. It's an amazingly interesting time. Let's see what's reflected in that. Ooh, Ten of Swords. Oof. That's about right, though. Yesterday I was going through a lot of shit. Everybody, I'm sure, was feeling it differently. I should say, the sun is in Scorpio. The moon is at the last degree of Libra, so it's about to be into Scorpio. And Mercury is in Scorpio. Venus is at Libra, and Mars is in retrograde, about to go direct in Aries. So we got the Ten of Swords, though. This is always an intense card. Let's check out what it is. The swords are mind. So if you're a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius, naturally going to resonate with this suit. Swords. The Ten of Swords. Oh my gosh, this is so appropriate. The end of a way of thinking, breaking free from the person you once were, releasing things which no longer serve you, and choosing responsibility by reclaiming your power. I must evolve. Guys, personally, I'm saying this. Collectively, it is the case. We must evolve. That's where we're at. The Ten of Swords usually depicts a person lying on the ground impaled by 10 swords. Fun. Hashtag fun times. It indicates a sudden and an unexpected failure or disaster. I've chosen a different visual interpretation. A blow from life is being delivered with immediate ferocity, and there's no way to avoid its full force. Whether it's the election, whether it's the eclipse, whether it's evolution as such. Like, it's here it is, baby. We're here. This is happening. Full force. We can't avoid it. There is no time for pain or regret. You can't even cry and nurse over your wounds. It's like running from grenades blowing up. If you stay too long, you'll die. In this very instant, we must accept full responsibility for everything in our life. Our previous life is ended. Only then can we shed the skin of our old life and become masters of our own destiny. As Pablo Picasso said, every act of creation is first an act of destruction. Even in America, it says we had to have a revolution and a war to become America, right? It was birthed out of chaos. Every act of creation is first an act of destruction. If in this instant of crisis we do not choose to take full responsibility, we will fall back into the drifting of life, battered and bundled by the fickle hand of fate. In the artwork, we see a precise moment of choice, which is where we're at, right? Destruction and creation. Two figures, part man, part genie, reel from the surprise assault of falling swords. One bleeds, dying from the many wounds which puncture his body. He reaches out to touch the other, transferring his life force. This other figure is stronger, capable of defending himself. He sends a bolt of energy to halt the impending fall of the sword. The genie essence illustrates the phenomenon that despite being magical and powerful and able to grant wishes, genies hide. Scorpio sun, moon about to be in Scorpio, Mercury in Scorpio. Genies hide in the niches and nooks of the world in lamps and containers. They only emerge for people worthy and curious enough to find them, the buried treasure of Scorpio. Similarly, our true creative power can remain hidden from ourselves and everybody else, locked deep within our mortal bodies and the patterns of our lives, never to be released. Genies are also a playful reference to Bowie's song, The Genie, from the album Aladdin Sane. In this song, Bowie has killed his fame-haired, utterly fantastical Ziggy Stardust character and gives birth to Aladdin Sane, a much darker, more dangerous and streetwise character. Very sun, Scorpio. He's adapted to survive in decadent and sleazy America. The Ten of Swords represents the sudden, unexpected jolt which pivots you between full responsibility and the drift. The key is to be ready, to choose responsibility and to rebirth in that instant. With this new moon in Scorpio coming up, it is about rebirth, guys. And America's going through a Pluto return essentially in the next 2 years. Rebirth. Death and rebirth. The answer, as always, is about practice and preparation. Give up the blame. This pointing fingers. Oh, it's their fault, their fault. If I'd only done this. The pointed finger, the moan and the groan. Like, we're in the vice right now. It's like it's turning and we're getting squeezed, and that's just how it is. Deal with it. Practice being response-able. When we reclaim our lives for ourselves, we reclaim the power to change it into something extraordinary. We reframe the good and the bad as feedback edging us closer to our dreams. So Ten of Swords is about the end of a way of thinking. We're transmuting and changing our mentality, mind, sword, breaking free from the person you once were through death, potentially, right? Release things which no longer serve you. Even last night, like I was getting all kind of depressed and I got some vegan Ben & Jerry's and I'm like, I can't be doing that no more. Like ice cream's great. I'm not hating on ice cream. But it's like, I can't just do that. That's not going to work anymore. Choosing responsibility and reclaiming your power. Guys, with the, it's not happening yet because the moon is still in Libra, the last degree, but the new moon in Scorpio, which is tonight or tomorrow, depending on where you are, is about rebirth. Scorpio is about transformation. This is an eclipse, I think. I've got to look into the astrology a little more, but we're in it. We're in it to like 10 people watching right now, 10 of Swords. Y'all, it's happening, and we just have to be responsible. Do we choose fear? Do we choose love? The sky is falling in a way, but this is, the baby is crowning. Here it comes. But at some level, we just got to kind of go with it. So, intense card, intense times, but it is what it is. So, let's go ahead and get a clarifier. We've got thought. It's funny that Mercury is in Scorpio, so our thoughts might be very dark, paranoid, conspiratorial right now. We might be very thinking about death and destruction and rebirth, right? This is number 13. You got to be kidding me. Friday the 13th, we got number 13. That's hilarious. All right, so I just made that connection clearly, but 13 is thought, number 112. All right, so I love magic. What's not magic, but I don't want to be redundant like that. So 13, thought, reality, power, attention, focus, attraction, positivity, negativity, universal law. Key phrases. Thought creates reality. Your beliefs create your reality, so be careful what you're thinking. Thought is the foundation of consciousness. Don't rush your thinking. Be certain. Thought is energy. Allow energy flow. Energy flows where attention goes. Be mindful of universal laws. That's what the karma of the situation is right now. We're all being, look, the axe is falling, and we're all gonna off with our head if we've been pushing our necks out in the wrong place. We're gonna get hit by bullets because that's karma. Like, this is why doing your due diligence, your practice, staying centered, breathing, eating well, being holy, if you want to put it that way, goes a long way. That doesn't mean just like go to Las Vegas and fuck anybody you want and drink and drug and all like that. Those times are over, folks. Sorry to put it that way. We've got to change our thinking. Like, freedom doesn't mean we can just continually hit failure. Like, that time is up. The karma is coming. Thought is energy. Energy flows where attention goes. Be mindful of universal laws. Are conscious and unconscious minds in accord, because you have a conscious self and an unconscious self. Be realistic instead of optimistic or pessimistic, right? It's not about, oh, everything will work out fine. That's optimism. And, oh, pessimistic, everything's going to shit. It's like, realistically, it's like things are changing, right? Good and bad go hand in hand, yin and yang. Change your mind, change your life. Do not overthink or speculate right now, especially with the Ten of Swords. This is the ending of like thoughts that don't help us anymore. And you could either be the victim of those thoughts, or you can change and evolve and become something new altogether. Question the critical mind speak. So your inner, like, Jiminy Cricket maybe is, like old Georgie. It's trying to help you, but it doesn't help always. Meaning, cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. This simple statement expressed by René Descartes is a founding principle of Western philosophy. It means if one questions one's existence, the very act of doubting and then questioning is proof that one does indeed exist. But what if you are a figment of your own imagination, or the imagination of a god mind, which is what, being the Atman and the Brahma is all about? What if you were something else? What if you were something else dreaming of being human, like a fox right now asleep after eating a warm meal, and you're just dreaming this whole existence, or only existing because someone or something else is dreaming of you? That is the, the Hindu thought, in a sense. And even Jonathan Edwards, who is a Christian, said we're machinations in the mind of God. So it's not like this hasn't been thought before. What if someone's dreaming you up, right? We may think we are human. We may think we are real, possessing a solid physical form. We may think our world is what it is, but at a quantum level, research suggests that the world around us does not exist unless we focus our attention upon it. It does not become real and remains fluid and changeable until we give it substance, definition, and form. You think the table or chair in front of you is there. Your senses and mind give it substance and form, and so therefore it is. But at a quantum level, the table does not exist until you focus your mind and attention upon it. Thought creates reality. Thought is the second and one of the most dominant of the influence cards in the decks. For thought, like emotion, will determine the direction of your life. And right now, there's so many conspiracy theories this way, that. Like the media says X, these people say Y. I have this opinion. Like there's so many thoughts. It's Ten of Swords. We're gonna have to like die to this. There's too much cognitive dissonance, right? Good, and that's part of the apocalypse. Cognitive dissonance. Thoughts create reality. Thought is this. Emotions and thoughts shape the world around you. What and how you think is a true reflection of you as the face that looks back at you when you gaze in the mirror. However, from a scientific standpoint, thought still remains a mystery. Neuroscientists are learning the mechanics of thought, but why it occurs is not yet known and could only be guessed at, like what is consciousness at all. Regardless of the way it operates, thought is a complex process that involves both the conscious and unconscious mind and is a result of our senses being stimulated by and reacting to the environment in which we dwell. We're on a holodeck and we're reacting, basically. It is the product of mental activity. It is the manipulation of information in manners that enable us to conceptualize, reason, work through problems, and make decisions. Thought is at the very foundation of consciousness, and some would suggest that without consciousness, we would not be human. That's a debatable point. Present, that's where we're going to put this, right? Present, how we think, whether we think in a positive, confident, and compassionate manner, or whether we think in a negative, critical, and judgmental manner, will give rise to the same energy in our day-to-day lives. Our thoughts are energy in its simplest and purest form, just as all that is matter is also energy, so it does not take belief in a particular concept or ideology for our thoughts to have influence in our day-to-day lives, as well as on the lives of those around us. When the thought card appears in the present, it represents taking a holistic approach to your thoughts and accepting their power to shape your reality. Right? That's what the Ten of Cards was saying. It's like are you a victim to your thoughts, or are you like being responsible for your thoughts? Thought, emotion, belief, and perception all work hand in hand with each other. It's a trinity in that sense. Each is separate from the other, but each also has the power to change one or all four. I guess there was four. I didn't read them all. All four have been shown to govern our overall energy, which is thought, emotion, belief, and perception. We attract to us what we focus our thoughts and attention upon, but it is not a simple case of like attracting like. With energy, there's always more to it. Like magnetism is polarities attracting. Regardless of whether we believe in the concept of universal law or not, these laws will continue to work around us. Your belief doesn't matter. The case is the case. In simple terms, there are 7 universal laws, and this is kind of like pay attention if you guys want to like take notes. Here they are. We are all born of a universal mind, right? This is this is very hermetic in terms, right? Correspondence, as above, so below. All that dwells within us dwells externally. What we feel and think within heart and mind, we will see and experience in the world around us and see mirrored in others. Vibration. Nothing is still. All is energy, and all that is energy vibrates. Everything we experience with our senses takes place on a vibrational level. Everything within the universe vibrates to a particular frequency. Like vibration will attract the same or similar vibrations, while those of a different vibration will repel. Polarity. Everything has its opposite, and those opposites are identical in nature but different by degree. These opposites are both part of the whole, and without both, there is no whole. Rhythm. Everything ebbs and flows, waxes and wanes, transforms and transmutates. Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon, almost. Mercury and Scorpio, transmutation. Everything has a season, and every season comes to an end, and as it flows into the next. This is the end of a way of thinking, and just accept that. It's the end of a way of human life, maybe in a certain way. Nothing happens, cause and effect. Nothing happens by chance. Everything happens for a reason, whether that reason be known or unknown. For every action, there will be a reaction, whether it be your actions or the actions of others. And gender. Everything contains elements of both masculine and feminine. These universal laws influence our lives, and there's never just one law at work in our experience. They are all working together and weaving every moment in unison, as if our lives were part of some cosmic tapestry. Whether we can conceive of it or not, these universal laws are at the foundation of life and existence. With this in mind, it stands to reason that we should at least be mindful and aware, so that we are the master weavers in control of our own loom and thread. Remember, it matters not how much you want to manifest a particular outcome on a conscious level. If your unconscious mind thinks, feels, and believes something contradictory. Like, I'm always like, oh, everything's going great, everything's going awesome. And I'm like, my unconscious mind, I don't know if I believe that. So I'm all paranoid and scared, right? So your unconscious mind, that's why meditating, psychedelics, all this stuff goes a long way. Reprogramming. If your unconscious mind is full of thoughts of failure, fear, or a belief that you don't deserve the outcome that you desire, then the overall energy will be very different to what you think it is. Like an ocean, your surface may reflect a peaceful calm, while the depths below are murky and hide currents that can drag you down, which in a weird way is hypocrisy, but everybody's a hypocrite, so don't sweat that shit. And because the thoughts that are locked within the unconscious mind are more deeply rooted within your psyche, your vibration will mirror those unconscious thoughts for good or for ill. This is a lot to read. So you might ask, if an individual has no awareness of what dwells within their unconscious mind, unless it manifests in a specific pattern of behavior in the present, how can he or she have any power over those unconscious thoughts and behavior that they give rise to? Like, how do we control this? Ten of Cards is saying how to be we got to be responsible. We're being destroyed by our unconscious thoughts that are creating realities around us. The answer is that rather than focusing on what is seemingly not in your control, you instead understand that you are a being of unlimited potential and allow the seeds of a new way of thinking to take root. New psychologies, new magic, new moon in Scorpio coming up. Unconscious thoughts, for example, can lose their power and ability to drive a negative mindset by the simple acceptance that good and bad go hand in hand. Winter and summer, you need them both. Therefore, instead of taking a dichotomist approach based on the notion that we must not be negative and must be positive, flow through life with the awareness that there will always be positive rewards and negative consequences to every experience, and you must take responsibility for your role. Instead of being optimistic or pessimistic, be realistic. Embrace a way of thinking that embraces the whole instead of either or thinking. There is a silver lining to every storm cloud. Remember to look for it. There is something good to be learned from every failure. Try to learn it. There is a ferryman to be paid for every success. Be prepared and willing to pay your dues. In these ways, we could take the good with the bad and the good with the bad, and the bad with the good, and find a center place where both are met and with peaceful acceptance, instead of expectation that a particular outcome is the only outcome that will take us to where we need to be. And a lot of people in America and the world are in that place. It's like, if this person wins the election, oh my God. It's like, both are good, both are bad, right? Be realistic. Then we could see that just as there is nothing wrong with being positive and optimistic, there is nothing wrong with feeling negative and pessimistic at times. Our vibration is not meant to be static. It changes as we change. Ebb and flow, cause and effect, working toward any outcome will offer moments of both. What we are experiencing from one day to the next will offer us both. It is good to understand, too, that every time you set your heart and mind in a particular objective, you are likely to experience both moments of bliss and moments of terror, as your thoughts swing from one to the other, back and forth and back. Be mindful and aware of your thoughts and their influence, and shape your mind into one that works in harmony with the universal laws, and you will begin to see your thoughts in action and how they manifest in your reality. If you have ever changed your mind about something, you will know that doing so can change everything. Again, for good or ill, a change in thought can change your life in an instant. The thought card in the present represents a time to really see and appreciate the power of thought that dwells within you, right? And with the Ten of Swords, which is about the mind kind of having an apocalypse, right? It's like, oh my God, I've got time to evolve or die. Like, we're going to have to change our beliefs about things, right? The sky is falling, but you are an eternal being. There's a paradox. It's like you might die tomorrow, right? A number of ways, but at the same time, you will live forever. So try to control your thoughts, or they'll control you. And Ten of Swords is saying we're all under a lot of collective stress from people's thoughts, like the noosphere, the mental sphere. So many people are anxious right now that everybody's kind of anxious in a sense. So you got to do your part. Ground, breathe, eat well, sleep well, drink lots of water, right? Dwell on things, be realistic. Do things that you love, but know that that's not all there is. And don't, try to work on things you've been avoiding, and so you don't keep on avoiding them, because that's what it's saying. There's, truth in everything and silver linings on all levels. So, Galactic Heritage card is as follows. We've got Deep Polarity. Can't make this shit up, y'all. So our mind is saying, is it good or bad? Are they the devil or are they the savior? Or, all this kind of stuff. And it's like, that's what we're going to have to transcend here. Deep Polarity. Orion timeline, deep polarity, past timeline. In ancient times, the Orion civilization played out the deepest of polarity during a very dark time in their history. Seems familiar, right? Many souls from Orion eventually came to Earth to heal this polarity through incarnations as humans. If you've pulled this card, then an Orion lifetime of yours still has some influence in your life today. These karmic patterns are ready to be released. Examine your natural human tendency to polarize in thought and belief, and ask the universe to help you to heal this. Good and bad, they are relative to a large degree. Everything that is. That's the realistic approach, right? And then we pick sides, and that's just part of the game. Also know that this is a major issue for the entire planet at this time, and your healing affects the whole as well, as within, so without. So it's like, get your shit together. Be responsible. In ancient times, Lyran civilizations, including Vega, expanded, creating the Orion colonies. The Orion civilization is known as the group within our galactic family that experienced the deepest polarity. These memories affect us on Earth, and many humans are still playing out the karma from Orion. The best pop culture reference is that of the Star Wars movie, in which there was a corrupt empire that attempted domination of the planet and people through very sinister methods. including the manipulation of consciousness and energy through psychic and metaphysical powers. Within the full spectrum of experience of our galactic family, from unity to fragmentation to reintegration, this era in Orion history was the furthest from unity and the deepest one of separation. If you pulled this card, it most likely is that you are experiencing, you had experiences in this Orion system during the dark times and most likely still carry painful memories within you. Thus, it is very important not to repeat the patterns from Orion. Seeking to embrace non-polarized thought here on Earth. Once again, we got number 13, Friday the 13th, thought, non-polarized thought, right? This is showing even polarity in the image, right? Where it's like, yo, live or die. Like, it's not that simple, but in our minds it is. Within the full spectrum of experience, this era was the furthest. I said that. Okay, if you pull this card, it's most likely that you experienced Orion system during this dark time and most likely still carry painful memories within you. Thus, it is very important not to repeat the patterns from Orion. Seek to embrace non-polarized thought here on Earth, for it will be one of the only paths toward integration and healing. Move beyond good and bad, right and wrong, dark and light. If you're playing that game and like, I'm a holy warrior and they're the enemy, you're going to trip out and not have fun real soon. Try to see every condition as an aspect of creation rather than seeing through the eyes of separation and judgment. It is. And because it is, it has to be, right? Remember the yin-yang symbol, dark within light, light within dark. Essentially, the universe is in perfect balance, perfect harmony always. We're not out of alignment right now. It is only the human mind that creates polarity, right? Only the human mind that suffers, Ten of Swords. Only our thoughts that create reality, but like if they're not coming from a non-polarized place, we're going to say, I only want good things and I want to avoid bad things. I only want life and fuck death, right? Like it's going to be crazy, right? So, this is an important understanding for the next step in human evolution. Guys, we're there. We're at the next level of human evolution, and this is about loving your enemy, because you are the enemy. There is no enemy, right? Non-polarized thought. Enemy and friend, those are ideas. Everything is working together for the whole, always, in ways that the human mind cannot grasp. I feel like I'm being redundant, but these cards are kind of screaming this shit. So, it is what it is. We've got the Watcher, Snow Leopard, with a new moon in Scorpio with Sun and Mercury in Scorpio. We've got real observation, guys. I would highly suggest getting out of your mind and observing your thoughts, right? Get out of, like, free your mind, according to Morpheus, right? So this is number 15, Snow Leopard. Take the high road. Do not sink to the level of low vibration. We were just talking about your thoughts create vibration, right? So take the high road. Observe the situation closely before acting. Being silent is an option. Scorpio energy is very silent and observational. Ethics is a number one concern. It is best not to continually draw attention to yourself just for the sake of filling up your ego. A little mystery, Scorpio Sun, Mercury, Moon almost, is a little mystery is a good thing. Mythos. In the valley surrounded by high rocky mountains live the people. In the high passes with the rocks between the sky and the land, above the flapping of the prayer flags, live the spirits of the mountains. Some of these spirits were bodhisattvas, the compassionate energies that helped people take the more right and ethical path. These spirits took the form of the most elusive and beautiful creature that lived among the high places, the snow leopard. The snow leopards watched the people, yet were very, very rarely seen, and their paw prints might have been occasionally found on a ridge overlooking the valley, but they were not spotted. So you saw evidence of them, but never saw them. Very scorpionic. These watchers of the sky rewarded those who helped others. It was said, too, that the snow leopards, ever observing, would place obstacles in the path of those who do evil in order for them to realize their mistakes and make a change. Y'all, placing obstacles in your path, your mental path. Like bad things happen. What are your thoughts on that? Do you feel like the victim? Do you know that it's happening for your highest good? No matter what, you're always where you need to be? Or are you in deep polarity? Are you like, I'm a victim and there's, I want this and not that? Preferences happen, right? But like ultimately we're in the consensus preference machine of dream or something. So it's like, it's like playing chess. It's like one side isn't better than the other. You don't have a chess game without both sides. So just observe, right? It was said, too, that the snow leopards were observing would place obstacles in the path of those who did evil for them to realize their mistakes and change. And if something was not right, the leopards would wail mournfully for all to hear. The animal. To say spotting a snow leopard is difficult is an understatement. These mysterious animals live high in the most remote mountainous areas of the Himalayas, Russia, Mongolia, and western China, and it is only recently with the advent of sophisticated motion sensor cameras that we have been able to see decent photographs of these animals in the wild at all. A member of the Panthera genus, snow leopards are uniquely adapted to a cold, harsh environment through having small, rounded ears to keep the heat in, lustrous, multi-layered fur, and a thick tail filled with fat that they wrap around their face and body when they sleep to keep the wind out. They have incredibly large paws for their size, covered in thick fur, which allow them to walk more easily on soft snow without sinking. Snow leopards do not roar like lions, but instead vocalize mews, meow, chuffs, and most notably a wailing sound that echoes for long distance, like ah. Or who knows how that sounds? I'd love to hear it. The magic. Snow leopard magic is all about the power of being the silent watcher. New moon in Scorpio, we're about to hit, right? Sun in Scorpio, Mercury in Scorpio, the silent watcher, the deep witness, the magical eyes. Western society is an extroverted one with the emphasis on the individual and on being seen. That's one side of the polarity. Yet there is a yang to the yin, yet there is much advantage for examining things quietly and observing them before making decisions. Taking your time and observing a situation before you decide the next step is wisdom. It's wise. Snow leopard magic is mysterious and ethical and can be used when you need assistance in taking the righteous path. And guys, that's what we're being called to do. The Ten of Swords is like, are you taking the righteous path? If you haven't been, you're going to die. It's judgment time. This is where we're at. This is the apocalypse. But if you start taking the righteous path, start getting your thoughts in control, having high vibe thoughts, not at the exclusion of those thoughts. Like you can have all sorts of thoughts, but know that your thoughts create your reality, largely, right? Your beliefs. You get to either live or die through this whole situation. It's your choice. And even that is a polarity that's deeply ingrained and is not ultimately true. Everything is happening exactly on time and in schedule. Nothing is out of alignment. Tell yourself that. The yin and the yang are playing together perfectly well. Watch it. Witness it. Right? Symbology's eyes on a prayer flag, cat in the snow, leopard footprints in the snow. Their status is vulnerable because, guess what? Life and death play in a weird dance on this plane. And they're vulnerable. They've been getting killed off or whatever. So let's get an art card. See what's going on that front. Hopefully all are doing well. Tell me something interesting. Tell me something good. So Jean-Michel Basquiat. I don't even remember how to pronounce this, but he's a fascinating artist. Died of an overdose. So very Scorpio at that level. Where are you at, bro? Okay, here he is. So, before he became every art dealer's dream catch, the charismatic Jean-Michel Basquiat found fame literally underground, subterranean. That is the realm of Pluto. That is the underworld, right? Underground is a term for hipster shit, but it's like he was Pluto, like he was found in the depths. First with friends, then solo, he wrote satirical commentary on the walls of downtown New York at its subways under the pseudonym Samo, S-A-M-O. He wasn't even using his real name. He was hiding. Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Mercury. He was hiding in plain sight, right? Under Samo, this pseudonym. By the early 80s, Basquiat was wearing paint-splattered Armani suits and selling out his paintings of distressed figures largely described as primitive or neo-expressionist. Of Haitian and Puerto Rican descent, Basquiat lent his personal and political experiences to art. His avalanche of stardom kept rolling with Andy Warhol collaborations and various friendships with people like Madonna and Bowie. When Basquiat died of a heroin overdose at age 27, many argued it was actually the 1980s gallery scene that killed him. Dying of a heroin overdose. Here's a bunch of needles, killing a guy, right? Ten of Swords. He let his mind and thoughts, in a sense, he let his addictions, right, kill him. We have a choice here. I'm going to keep reading Basquiat because I didn't see the advice, but I guess I should probably do that now. I'm just saying, look at all this. Good work can come from bad habits. So it's like he was doing, right? But like right now, it's like, yes, there's silver linings. Maybe you might be a heroin addict and you make good art. That's kind of what it's arguing, I guess, in a weird way. Good work can come from bad habits, but we're being judged right now for our bad mental thoughts, our bad habits mentally, our thoughts. What are you dwelling on? You can't get beyond polarity. So deep polarity exists, right? You can't get beyond it. It's part of the nature of it, and to transcend it is to accept it. Acceptance transcends, right? So use your thoughts to transcend. Use your thoughts to get out of life and death situations. It's not as bad as you think, but it's worse than you can imagine. It's like that. It's both and. Deep polarity, though, right? So, wow, he's a free artist, but he's a junkie who dies. Wow, he's rich and famous, but he doesn't even make it to 30. If only he could have seen himself from a higher perspective, the watcher. If only he had taken the time out to... And in a way, it's tragic, but it's his karma. He chose these things, right? His thoughts created his reality. He said, I want to be famous, but I also want to die young. Whatever. Like there's a reason for everything, cause and effect. If you do heroin, you're going to maybe die, right? If you make art, maybe you'll become famous. Don't be a victim, right? Transfer from the victim mentality and know that you are in control of your thoughts, but there is going to be dark and light to that. You can't avoid polarity. Watch it, witness it, play with it, detach from it. This is the Buddhist kind of moment. If you need hope, know that you are never out of love, like, right? By, through, and for love. If you need to detach, know that you are not your thoughts, though they create your reality. So, what is this? What's this? What's this? There's magic in this stone. Celestite. Beautiful. What it is, blue-gray, very Scorpio new moon energy looking here. It's like, ooh, the mystery within. It's hidden. Blue-gray celestite is a delicate sulfate mineral with airy, buoyant, blue cotton candy vibes. It gets its name from the Latin word for heaven. Heaven. Heaven is a place. And if you close your eyes and ask nicely, maybe it will take you there. Who needs it? Anyone brazenly ignoring the consistent inner voice that actually has some good ideas for how you might better handle this whole life thing. You know, if you're not listening to the right thoughts and you're just getting killed by your mind, it's like, this is for you. It's time to observe your thoughts and be in control of your thoughts, not let your thoughts control you. Polarity is causing real issues. But guess what? Even good can come from bad, right? Even good work can come from the bad habits. Like, yes, you know, sometimes, you know, doing a lot of drugs makes you realize I don't need to be a druggie or whatever. This says tune into your serenity. And serenity is beyond mind, a peace beyond understanding, as they say in the Bible. The mind is a level of understanding, right? But we have to get beyond the mind. We have to observe. We have to be the watcher. We have to be riders of the storm of our thoughts. Our thoughts are polarized. Our reality is polarized, but you can get above polarity by saying yin and yang. Yes, it is. There it is. Instead of saying good only triumphs over evil. It's not like that. Death sucks and life rules. It's not like that. And even within the deep polarity of the matrix, right? Good things can happen from bad situations. Right now, there's a collapse of a lot of things that we know. Governments, perspectives, money, right? All these things. Uranus is in Taurus. It's shocking and electrifying. Our bodies, our habits, our daily rituals and things that make us feel grounded, right? Our values. So we're going through a Ten of Swords moment collectively right now. No doubt about it. And this new moon is saying, it's time to evolve, right? That's what this card said. It's time to evolve. Death is here and it's coming in hard. Witness it well as a watcher. Your thoughts will create the level of which you experience. Like, this is the Tibetan Book of the Dead. It's like, turn off your mind, relax, and float downstream. Because guess what? Your thoughts are creating your reality. Watch, observe, turn off your mind and relax and float downstream. You are doing that anyway, but your monkey mind is saying, fight, do, be, It's like you are whether you think so or not. That's the whole I think, therefore I am at the beginning of this Ten of Swords. It's like that mental trap is part of the problem, but it's where we had to evolve from. We're not separate. Deep polarity. We're not separate from the universe, but we think and feel we are. It's not true, right? Good work can't come from bad habits. So tune into your serenity. Tune into the hidden. Tune into you. Your peace is there. The kingdom of God is within. You don't have to sink when the waves get big. Tune in to your peace. Let's go ahead and play some music. Oh, I'm excited. I didn't fuck up. I actually set it up today ahead of schedule. It's like a little preparedness, a little thinking. It goes a long way, but don't attach too much to the thought. It's not like, oh, I'm the best because I thought of this. So, let's play some music. We've got the Ten of... Of course I fucked that up. Can't blame Mercury retrograde either. So, we've got the Ten of Swords, which is basically saying, don't be a prisoner to your thoughts. And then we have thought card, which is further clarifying your mind. I mean, ask Haley, my fiance. She's like, yo, get out of your head. I'm like, yeah, I gotta meditate, but. And it's like, no, maybe I should stop saying that. Meditation time today, especially with a new moon. Be silent, be the watcher, be magical. You know, like you might be like, oh shit, I have magic that I never observed because I was thinking too much. my timing is off there, so I'll start this over. Oh, we'll do something totally different. That was too happy for Ten of Swords. I'll be real. I was like, oh, time to change the fall. Here I go with Ten of Swords. We'll make it more a little dark and intense, quite frankly. That's more Ten of Swords. For sure. which is our minds being our worst enemy. Yes, we think, therefore we are. We are mental beings. Right? We can't not be mental, in a way. But we've been victim. It's time to evolve our thoughts. We have to evolve or die. We're gonna have to witness our thoughts and judge them pretty much, right? Our thoughts are what's on the table here right now. Our thoughts are they our enemy or are they our friend, right? There's polarity. It's both your enemy and your friend, right? But ultimately it's you, so don't sweat it. Good things can come from bad situations, right? Bad habits can cause good work, but ultimately tune into your serenity with what is this? Celestite. Tune into your serenity with Celestite. Find the magic within. Everything happening out there is you, so the more you tune in, the better you get, the better life will be. But don't think it will be peaches and cream. It's a little loud. Hold on. Hopefully that makes sense. Hit me up for readings if you want. Love giving them. People love getting them, both chart readings as well as astrology, chart readings, as well as card readings. Enjoy your Friday the 13th. No podcast today. And everyone, we have to be in control of our thoughts. And as a Gemini saying this, a double Gemini, Sun and Moon Gemini with Chiron and Gemini, my thoughts are my enemies, but they're my treasure too. So try to understand the wound is where the light heat comes in. Our minds are fractured, but that's where we evolve through, and everything is exactly as it should be, regardless of what your thoughts are telling you. Have a good Friday.